Breastfeeding goes well right from the start, but if you find it isn't easy at first, it almost certainly will be later. You may need help to get it going. Anne's first experience of breastfeeding was a night of frustration, misery and pain. But now baby Laura feeds easily and painlessly. What did her midwife suggest?
First of all, just to make sure that I'm comfortable, because I found that I was very stiff in the shoulders, and that's because I was very tense. And, so once I'd got myself comfortable and got Laura well supported, and so that she was lying horizontal with her head being supported in this hand and the breast with this hand, and then sort of guiding her on, not rushing her, not forcing the nipple into her mouth, just waiting for her to take it at her own pace. And you hold the nipple like that shape, sausage shape, and you turn slightly so that you get the bottom of the nipple onto her bottom jaw, and then it just to guide it with the nipple pointing up towards her nostril, and then it just fits in nicely and she opens her mouth. It's lovely. And you know when she's on, because it's lovely, there's no pain, it's just, just nice and comfortable. And she sucks well, and it's the sucking and resting. You just, you can tell that she's swallowing, because a little ear wiggles about. So, you just feel nice and relaxed, because you know that she's getting what she's supposed to be getting.
Your baby's mouth needs to be wide open, as it has to take in not only the nipple, but the area around the nipple. Sucking on the nipple alone won't give the baby much milk, and it may make you sore. If you find breastfeeding isn't easy at first, don't give up. Give it a good try. It can become a real pleasure later on.
I think basically it's because I'm a bit stubborn, and a few people were saying, oh, put them on the bottle, it'll be easier for you. And I was determined I wanted to succeed. And from my mothercraft classes I went to before I had the baby, the midwife there was a stickler for breastfeeding, and she always used to say, it will be difficult in the beginning, but try and persevere. So I just could hear her saying that to me every time I wanted to give up, and I thought, no, it's not going to beat me, I'm going to do it. And I did.
Sharon went back to work when baby Phoebe was only 4 weeks old, and she wanted to go on giving Phoebe breast milk. So she decided to express her milk, which can be done by hand or by using a small pump, so you can give it to the baby later from a bottle.
I express milk the night before, and the morning before I feed her. And I leave milk in the fridge. And then I go off to work. If she needs a feed in between time, she has the milk that I've left.
Sharon has also built up a stock of her expressed milk.
I've sterilised the ice cube trays. And then what I do is I pour the breast milk into the ice cube trays and then put them in the freezer box of the fridge and freeze them. And then I take them out individually and put them in a little bag in the freezer. And I've worked out that 2 little cubes represents about 1 ounce, so my husband can work out how many cubes to put in the bottle.
In a way, I felt that I was becoming involved with her by feeding her as well. And she seems to respond quite a lot by smiling and gurgling, which was quite nice.
If you have any trouble with breastfeeding or you'd like to know how to express milk, you can talk to a midwife or health visitor, other breastfeeding mothers, or a breastfeeding counsellor or support group.
Very frightening coming home with a new baby. Initially I didn't sleep at all, because I think all mothers find the same. You're afraid to leave the baby and you're watching them all the time and making sure they're still breathing, but that's quite natural. But after a week or so we got used to each other and things were okay. But it was hard when you first come home, and you do need a lot of help.
I was prepared for everything else, but not for the wakeful nights. And she was sort of literally every 2 hours wanting feed, and quite often wanting attention, not just to feed, wanting to be picked up from such an early age. Well, that surprised me, because I sort of read all the books which said, 4-hourly feeds or 3-hourly feeds or whatever, and that took some getting used to, because I needed the rest, I wanted to sleep. And of course, when she was asleep, I wanted to get other things done. And really what I you should do is sleep when she's asleep, so you're both ready for each other, which is something that a lot of women, of course, don't have a chance to do, because there are other things to do around the house and around the home.
And when I was working, I was falling asleep, stood up. It was incredible.
Yeah.
The kids used to look at me, didn't they?
Yeah, it's like, I think the first 6 weeks really, isn't it? And you think, oh God, this is awful. Then will I ever sleep again? And then about 6 weeks, 7 weeks, it sort of smiles at you and you think, oh, there is recognition there somewhere. And then it just gets better and better after that.
The whole thing of time has changed for me. The whole sense of time has changed with having a baby. It seems to all slowed up somehow. Eating, I did find I was quite unprepared for not being able to eat. Sometimes it was 3 o'clock before I've had my breakfast at first. It took me a while to make myself have my breakfast. So she feeds at 5 and I used to just go back to sleep. Now I have my breakfast then because I know that if I don't ring when she's awake later, the breakfast won't happen.
I let Paul do all the work. I just looked after her. It was the easiest way. I mean, it's much... enjoy your baby. I mean, like, they're only little for a short while. I mean, she's a big baby now. She's only 3 months. You know, when they're really little, it's only a few weeks. Enjoy it. I mean, like, housework doesn't matter. If things are tidy, it doesn't matter if they're not spitzed and polished and all that, you know. I suppose a little sense of loss of identity. That I'm no longer me on my own, but I'm me and baby. And wondering, and obviously it's going to be like this for 18 years or so, but it is quite strange that I'm no longer an individual. Of course I am an individual, but have just a slight sense of loss of self. I think the thing is to try and get out and about. Because if you're stuck at home, then after a while people don't come to see you. And if you don't get out to meet other people, you'll end up feeling like a prisoner in your own house. And then much harder than you think, you know. So just get out and about and enjoy yourself.
Sometimes I don't know how I'm managing until I see other people and then I realise we're doing alright. Most of me. Sometimes I think I must be doing something really wrong. She's been crying non-stop. And then you go and be in the room with other babies crying, eating, crying, sleeping, and you realise it's all normal and you're not the only person who doesn't really know what to do. Because you can get the impression that everyone seems to know what they're doing. It's nice also getting advice from people who've got babies rather than people who have had them years ago, say, or people who are going through it at the same time as you, so much more understanding somehow. Yeah.
Life has changed and there's a lot to cope with. So get help and support from wherever you can, from relatives, friends, other mothers. And there are likely to be groups of mothers with new babies in your area. They're a lifeline for a lot of women. Looking back over both my pregnancies, I must say I've enjoyed almost every aspect of them, and I've certainly never felt better. But some women do have unfortunate experiences. And if you think there are problems which could have been avoided, either before or during the birth, try to write to whoever's responsible and praise what's been good, but do point out what could have been better, because it could help people in the future. Our book gives you lots of useful information to help you with pregnancy, labour and after. And above all, of course, trust your own instincts. Good luck.
You and your baby will survive. That's the most important thing. I realized that when I was left, my husband had to go off to work. I was left with the baby at home on my own. I did do things for him, and I did do them right. I didn't think that I was doing it right then, but now I know that I did.
Enjoy them while they're little, because they grow so quickly.
Too quickly.
It's amazing, they really grow.
Yeah.
Just enjoy your child. And don't listen to half the good advice people give you, because a lot of it isn't. It all conflicts. So just do what you want to do, because what your parents tell you will differ to what your in-laws tell you, and you can't please them all, so please yourself. laugh about it sometimes. I say that I used to be a lady, but now I'm a mum. Well done. Okay.